to murder someone.
To like gas a vagrant, maybe. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's some other people are thinking. But it's kind of funny that the volunteer firefighter screwed up his plan because obviously
We'll save it.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty hilarious, actually, when you think about it.
Okay, so that's theory number 1 done. Right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Theory number 2 would be Clarence set and died in the second fire with Geneva. I mean, the story here, right, is that a few years after Geneva moved into the shack, neighbors started talking about a strange man lurking around. And Geneva, who was diabetic and did not drink, though...
She wasn't supposed to drink.
Well, she didn't, but then, her husband died or ran off or something, and...
She had a good reason to drink.
She had some good reasons to start drinking. But she was reportedly purchasing a lot of beer and liquor and bringing it back to the house. So it's possible that, Clarence, as mentioned, came back, and that was Clarence that was lurking about, right?
Yeah, but the important thing to know about the lurker is nobody 100% could say that was Clarence, because this guy, he had a really, really good habit of knowing when somebody was looking at him. Just one of those people, you get the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Apparently, he had spidey sense super good. And so somebody would be there, and he'd realize you were there, he would turn and start walking away. So if they were on one side of the house, he would put himself on the other side of the building. So nobody ever really got a good view of him. They never could say.
He was pretty distinctive looking.
Yeah, Clarence is actually not a bad looking guy. That's not Clarence.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's Clarence.
Is that Clarence?
You guys want to see?
Okay, there you go. Oh, I thought Clarence had darker hair.
Well, he was old.
Of course, the guy could. What's that?
He was old.
Oh, okay. So his hair kind of went gray. All right, that happens. Of course, it could have been some guy with a facial deformity. He was shy about it, or maybe some agoraphobia.
Yeah, it's possible it wasn't.
The police were staking out Geneva's house. Apparently, this is a huge story in Brown County. I think people swung by just to check on Geneva themselves.
Just to laugh at her or something?
Yeah, or just to check out the rumors, see if they spotted Clarence in the front yard or something like that. So Geneva wound up nailing her front door shut. So she came and went by the back door just to avoid people watching her. Which proved to be kind of maybe sort of fatal for her in the end, because they had that second fire.
They did,
and they couldn't escape by the front door.
Yeah. It's the problem with nailing things shut.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Can't get back out.
So again, the question though is who set that second fire?
Well,
we haven't really.
Somebody did apparently, because somebody used an accelerant, probably like I don't know what gas, something like that.
Yeah, gas or something like that.
Again, according to James Roberts, the prosecutor, he said somebody set that fire. He said it was definitely not an accident.
Yeah, and it was a weird fire because the bodies of apparently the Robertses were found in the bedroom, right?
No, actually, she was on a cot in the living room, and he was in one of the bedrooms.
Oh, they were asleep. That's why I thought
they were sleeping apart. Yeah,
they were sleeping apart.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were found.
Yeah.
And they died of smoke inhalation. Correct?
Yeah, they didn't get their limbs fried off this time.
Nope.
Yeah.
But the trail of accelerant led to the back door. So it would be kind of weird to me that somebody would set a fire in their own house with the intention of killing themselves or whatever and lead it from the back door. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just soak the room you're in?
Well, the only thing that I can think of, and this is Clarence's plan went wrong. If we're saying that Clarence is the one who set this fire.
Yeah.
The only way that I can see that working is if Clarence did indeed walk into the shack, he's pouring accelerant as he's walking in. He then, he says goodbye to Geneva in whatever his, I love you, bye, I'm leaving again scenario is, and lights it, not realizing how fast a fire in a shack with accelerant is going to run, and therefore he traps himself in.
Seems like he should know, because he did that once before.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did a whole lot of things. If he did it, there's a whole lot of things in that first fire that didn't seem to add up, like, the shotgun and not shooting the guy and the rolling gas chamber. I mean, none of this seems like it's a really well-formulated plan.
That's fair, yeah.
Not if it was two of them. And there's been speculation about murder, suicide, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, what if they committed suicide? Why would you set a fire and kill yourself that way?
Are there any arsonists here? You guys have a point of view on this?
No.
But
Never
they,
tried to kill yourself with fire? None
no.
of you?
Okay, good.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Good.
Yeah,
don't.
we
Let's not
will
do
have a couple of minutes at the end for audience participation if you guys want to throw out any theories, and special preference if you think OJ did it. You get to come to the front of the line.
You can skip the line.
Well, but there is the issue of the alcohol levels in both of the bodies.
They had a lot of booze in them.
They both had a lot of booze. Devin, do you remember?
It was 0.3 for Clarence, and 0.2 for Geneva, correct?
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Okay.
sound right? I have
sounds
it written
about
down
right.
somewhere, but
Which-
we're not on
that's-
script at all
That's
anymore.
an exceptionally high level of alcohol to have in your system, which
Yeah.
is why I'm thinking. That's why I wondered if whoever said it completely bungled it.
Hey, has anybody here ever been busted for DUI and had a breathalyzer? Has anybody ever blown 0.3? Anybody? I'll take that as a no. Okay.
Dang it.
I had no idea what 0.3 does to you if you're even conscious.
Well, and especially, I mean, I know that you wanted to say that, maybe since Geneva had less alcohol in her system, maybe she did it, but she wasn't a drinker.
No, probably not a heavy
And
drinker.
so I don't think she would have been able to even do that.
Probably not.
Well, and
although that could explain how sloppy the whole thing was.
Well, but if Clarence is the one if it was Clarence that's the lurker and she is bringing home all this booze for him, he may have had an exceptionally high tolerance. I mean, guys who sit around and do nothing but drink all day, every day for an extended period of time, their tolerance is high.
And he was a fugitive from the law. So when you're a fugitive, what do you do?
Sit around and drink.
You drink. I mean, yeah. I don't know what else you would do.
I think
Yeah.
that's probably all you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I think that's most likely, but there's a lot of other theories out here.
Okay.
What if that lurker wasn't Clarence?
So who was it?
A boyfriend?
Who was jealous about Clarence being
Or
back
what
home?
if, like, Clarence came back and was like, what? You boyfriend?
So-
You're supposed to wait for me. You thought I was dead,
I was
but
supposed
wait
to
for
wait
me
10
forever.
years for me, yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And then killed them both by fire.
Clarence killed them both?
Yeah.
Or the boyfriend killed Clarence and her?
No, Clarence killed them both.
Oh, Clarence killed them? Oh, I see. So Clarence wasn't killed in the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either fire. Is
That's
what
true.
you're
Either
saying.
fire.
Yeah.
Clarence is still out there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well,
He's right there now.
There's always that possibility. Yeah, according to what I have heard, they used X-rays because apparently Clarence had been admitted to a couple of different hospitals a few times, and so there were bone X-rays out there of Clarence, and they compared the bones in the body to his X-rays from those stays, and they matched. And a dentist looked at the dental records of Clarence plus the corpse, and those matched. So it's a pretty definitive identification, I think.
You're ruining this episode.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Or at least
Facts.
this theory.
I kind of reckon the theory. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
you are.
But I mean, I should say this. I mean, the police had been struggling with this case for a long time. They obviously really wanted to get Clarence, and so you could see there might have been a little incentive there to sort of fudge things a little bit and close the case.
Oh.
So even though I don't really think that's what
You
happened.
mean a police conspiracy?
Exactly. So there is always that possibility. I don't really subscribe to it, but
Yeah, it seems
it's a possibility.
weird. Like, why, though?
They wanted to close the case. Looks better.
But wasn't it kind of closed? No?
No, it's still an open case. They were still staking out Geneva's house
That's
from time to
true.
time.
Ugh,
Yeah.
He's a wanted man.
dang
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I think it might have been a third party myself.
Who?
Well, that's a good question.
Do you want to talk about third party first? Or you want to
Well,
talk
let's see.
about
Who would have a
Geneva
motive?
first?
Oh, what, Geneva?
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, you want to throw that one out
What
there?
if it was Geneva?
Well, yeah.
You're the leader on this one, but
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
you added this. I don't know.
Okay. Let's do this then. Real quick, so there was this big to-do with the insurance companies about the life insurance policies. The insurance companies didn't want to pay it because they weren't convinced that Clarence had died in that first fire.
Surprise.
Yeah, so this went on for a long time. After 7 years, they wanted to get him declared legally dead, but they were having a bit of trouble with that because nobody believed at that point in time that it was actually Clarence who had died. So they took him. She took the insurance companies to court. And the case was finally decided, I don't remember when, like 1979, something like that. And then they took it to the Indiana Court of Appeals. Mid-October 1980, about a month before the second fire.
October 15th.
Was it October 15th? Okay. They handed down their ruling, which is they upheld the lower court's ruling. And then it was appealed again to the court for a rehearing, like an en banc hearing, if you guys know what that means, en banc. Yeah.
What does it mean?
That means where usually courts of appeals usually they will typically have 3-judge panels deciding a case. And then if somebody wants to appeal that, they can appeal for an en banc thing, which means that the entire panel of judges on the court hears the entire thing. So they appealed for that. And November 24th, 1980, the appeal for the rehearing was turned down. So that's 5 days.
5 days.
5 days before that second fire. So my theory is that somebody was extremely disappointed with that court ruling.
Geneva.
It could have been Geneva. I mean, Geneva, after all, had been suffering for 10 years, and that was her, light at the end of the tunnel. And when that was snuffed out, well, she might have lost it and decided, well, I'm killing myself and taking Clarence with me.
Yeah.
Because it's all his fault.
Yeah. Well, it kind of was all his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said that.
Yeah. Or there's somebody else maybe who was disappointed. I mean, Clarence, kind of liked to live beyond his means, as I said.
Just kind of,
A little bit, yeah. He was not the most responsible human being out there. He might have had a creditor or two, maybe somebody who was like, one of these guys, these lenders that kind of skirt the edges of the law a little bit.
Loan shark.
The guy kept coming around suggesting that maybe it was going to break his kneecaps, and Clarence kept saying, hey, no, we're going to collect all this money from the insurance company. And then when that possibility was finally shut off, the loan shark comes around and says, not only you've been shining me on for like years, dude, I'm going to kill you. And so maybe that's what happened.
So you're saying it was murder?
I'm thinking it was murder.
You're saying it's murder, and you're not saying it was Chupi that did the murder.
Well, you never know. Could have been Chupi. I'm actually wearing a Chupi t-shirt, by the way.
It's true.
Available for sale.
Buy our stuff.
Please. And so, I don't know. And of course, we wanted to leave a little bit of time open for the audience because I know you guys have probably got all kinds of theories of your own. Are you guys ready to throw it to the audience?
Well, did you want to talk about it being an accident? Did we talk about it being an accident?
Yeah,
No, thank you.
Well,